So getting off work now, huh?
Yeah.
Gonna go home and have some fun?
No, still gonna be working, being a father, husband.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
So,
How many kids you got?
just one.
Just one?
Yeah, a 6-year-old.
6-year-old. I know exactly how it is. I'm a father of 3.
Okay.
Same woman,
All
which
right.
doesn't keep things complicated. Because I know it'll be like a lot of baby mamas. You got one here, one over there. Everybody's gonna be like from that one movie. You ever seen Medea?
Yeah.
Like that one. Ah! Like she's just doing all that craziness. I'm like, oh my god, that would be so annoying.
That's a lot of drama.
A lot of too much. So I got 3 kids. I'm enjoying it, So
It's work. So.
I'm pushing 12 hours a day just driving, but it's really 14 and a half hours to 15 hours a day.
Okay. Doing Uber?
Doing Uber. I do a lot of different things.
Okay.
And that's just Uber. That's just simply Uber. Sometimes it's Lyft.
Okay.
But I do other things besides Uber. So I try to do this in the weekend and try to do something else, like build, like growing my business during Monday through Thursday. Unless it's raining and it's boring, then I'll get out there and work.
What kind of business?
So I'm building currently a used car parts business.
Oh, okay.
Making listings on eBay. I'm selling stuff. I'm shipping stuff. I'm in the process of building my own warehouse. I just got 18 commercial grade shelving. They're the very heavy duty like metal shelving that you could put like pallets and stuff on.
Yeah.
4 feet by 8 feet, 12 feet tall.
Okay.
They're very expensive, but I got very lucky and I found a warehouse that was liquidating.
Yeah.
So I gave them an offer they couldn't refuse. So I got all the shelves and now I got to get the warehouse together. It's a slow process, but
yeah, that's good money. You never go out of business with that.
Exactly. And you know how it is, like, man, cars always need parts.
Oh yeah.
You see this little noise I got?
Yeah.
Watch this if I go to the right. See how it goes away?
Yeah. What's that? That's a lime.
No, it's a bearing over here on this left side. That bearing costs $350.
Yeah, I know. I used to work on cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my brother's got a shop, so he ordered it for me, and it's still like $150 a piece.
Yeah. That's through the shop.
Through the shop, yeah. Because the customers would be paying a lot more,
Right.
and then you gotta pay labor too. That's just a part.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the labor would be, but for a BMW,
Yeah.
just because it's a BMW, it's gonna rip you off. No, it's not gonna be 100 something. It's gonna be like, if the part's 300, your labor's gonna be 300. It goes by labor hour. But if you're gonna go, let's say, like the mechanic that's working for somebody,
Right.
he's maybe making 100 on that job, and then the dealership gotta make money too.
Well, the way they got a program now, they have a software where you just put in
All data.
what you need, and then it'll just calculate it itself for the hours.
So I have all data software, and there's a couple versions of all data. There's all data DIY, which is what I got, and then my brother using the regular all data.
Okay.
But the cool thing about all data DIY, it's a lot less expensive,
Yeah.
and I just paid in advance for 5 years, so I don't have to worry about the monthly bill.
Yeah. This is German car, man.
Yeah.
So everything is going to be expensive.
Absolutely. So what I tried to do is I buy similar type of cars, that way I could have car parts. But I have another BMW, but it's not the same as this.
Okay.
It's a parts car. It's also a 5 Series, but it will not work for these parts. At least I don't think it will. Because that was I think like a 2002 or something.
Yeah, these they go far, man. They go like 200, 300.
Well, I hope they don't go 200. I hope they go more, because I got 226,000 miles on it. It's gonna be 227 by the time I take you. No, but like in a few more hours, it'll be 227,000.
As long as you take care of them, they'll run.
And this is a fun car. Do you like to go fast?
Yeah, I mean, I used to actually have a 7 Series. It was a
So watch this how this thing like accelerates. See?
Oh yeah, I know they got power.
Yeah. So I really enjoy it. It's not that fuel efficient, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely fun.
So for Uber, especially I'm doing this economy class, technically, Uber X.
Yeah.
We don't get paid that much. They're ripping us off on, on the prices and stuff, and they're ripping off drivers, what they're paying. They're hiding how much the rider is paying for the trip. We used to be able to see that. And when they hide something like fine print, it's never good.
Yeah, because they don't want you to see
Exactly.
what they're paying, and you might see what they getting paid and you getting paid, and you might not take the ride.
Because you ordered your own ride, right?
Me?
Yeah, you ordered your own ride because that hospital sometimes pays for people ride.
No, I pay for my own ride.
Yeah, you paid for your own.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm picking up patients at the hospital, and the hospital done paid for their trip.
Yeah, I wish they do, man. I spend a lot of money on Ubers every day.
What did you spend on this one?
This one about like 30 something.
They're only paying me $11.
Huh?
They're only paying me $11.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know, that's like, they used to pay 80% of what the trip is, then they started doing about like 50.
Yeah.
Now it's like 3 times less, sometimes less than half.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, they're just ripping everybody
I
off.
spend at least about $500-$600, every 2 weeks on ride.
Every 2 weeks, $500 to $600.
Yeah.
What's stopping you from driving your own car?
I don't have a license.
You don't have a license.
Yeah, I don't have a license.
Did you lose it?
No, I just never had one.
You just never had one.
Yeah, I was driving for like 15, 16 years without a license.
Really?
Yeah, but then, I got into trouble. So now I can't afford trouble,
So, I do understand. Well, sometimes people choose not to have a license.
Yeah.
You ever heard of this one guy, Kent Hovind? He's like a scientist. Kent Hovind. So when he was born and stuff, I don't know what his parents did, but he decided never to get the Social Security, never to get ID, never to get a license, because he don't want like state to own him. Because technically, United States is a corporation, and when you're born, basically, you get a Social Security number. Basically, kind of like you could look at it kind of like a prisoner number.
Right.
So now you're the prisoner. Why you're the prisoner? You're gonna have to pay taxes for the rest of your life to them because you got the Social Security, right?
Right.
So if you open up a non-profit organization, which is still a corporation, now you could avoid paying taxes.
Exactly.
Like the churches, they're non-profits. If you just come up with like any kind of non-profit, you could make something up, and then, well, now you could stop paying taxes. So Kent Hovind basically started the church, and but he was like sort of like a non-profit where he distributed like all these materials that talk about scientifically proving dinosaurs or whatever, like, or how long something actually took. He had this scientific approach, so he wanted to make sure he could avoid paying taxes. Well, they still got him. They put him in prison, and then they let him out. But I think now he's messed up in the head because the way he talks, so maybe got a little bit messed up. I don't know. Maybe he got hit in the head or something. You never know.
Right.
But he was a very cool guy.
You're gonna make a left right.
That he was not gonna have the government's way. He was just gonna build his own way, because we technically right now, you got a regular job, right? So you got a job. You have to work. They'll probably give you overtime. Do you ever take overtime, by the way?
Yeah, but not at the moment.
Not at the moment. So anyways, let's say like you work an 8-hour shift, right?
Right.
They're gonna say, well, can you pull a double? We're gonna pay you a double, like time and a half or whatever, right? But let's look at it this way. What's a double shift? It's gonna be like 16-hour shift. How many hours you got to sleep? 8 hours. You still gotta get to work, you still gotta go home. That's 2 more hours lost. So you're only gonna have 6 hours to sleep. So at that point, they own you at that point.
Yeah.
For that very little money. And if you price it out through your whole life, you could already calculate how much is your life really worth to them. And basically, it's kind of like you bought and paid for. And what is that money good for you? For nothing. You just pay your bills, you go back to work. So ultimately, it's like your home sort of becomes your sort of like your prison cell. You get to get out to go to work,
Right.
and you come back. And that's the only thing you'll be able to do. Even if you have extra money from all that overtime,
Yeah.
the bills is gonna be so high that you barely afford it to live anyways. Otherwise, you would have never taken that overtime.
Oh yeah, I already know.
And now it's like you got no life. It's like a never-ending triangle.
Exactly.
And I'm all about being
Living.
free
Yeah.
because
Live.
you should live. Like you should be able to have a life. And now it's modern slavery. We're basically all slaves to our jobs.
But legit, but
Yeah.
it's a legit.
It's a legit slavery. So now it don't matter what you call it, you're a slave. And look, especially now, did you see what the prices of all the apartments now and houses?
Yeah.
They're pricing everybody out from being a homeowner now. So now it's like you got no choice to rent. And there's a new agenda that's going on with the New World Order, but they're calling it something else now. They're saying you will own nothing, have nothing, and you'll be happy. So it's like, okay, you will own nothing, so now you have to pay for everything. And then you're basically a slave. And who's going to collect all that money? The corporations that are rich.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they don't. It's like this. To me, it's like this.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't have a generation of wealth,
Yep.
you going to struggle, and your generation going to struggle.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
and that's how I look at it.
I came from a generation where no generational wealth was passed on.
Where are you from?
Russia originally.
Russia.
So my parents left their house in Russia. Well, my dad had a house in Russia and Ukraine because he built a house in Russia. But they really got screwed over with that house. So when he left, like Russia and stuff, there was a Soviet Union. So basically they took his house away. You know, so lost the house, lost the car, everything. So, but my parents, when they came here, they don't care about their Soviet membership. They got rid of everything. We became, we became Americans. So they came here basically with nothing. $10. That's all my dad had. $10 and a bag. Like that's it. So we had to start from nothing. We had to learn the language. Now it's easier a little bit for me because I came here as a child and I lived here 30 years. So this is all I know. So it's sort of like your kids now will have a better life at the cost of your own life, you know?
Of course.
So my parents are still kind of broke. They have that old mentality, kind of like that broke mentality.
Yeah.
They're living paycheck to paycheck. And I want to break that like, I don't know how to really say it correctly.
That struggle.
Yeah, so basically just break free away from it and just basically become free. Because now it's like, okay, technically you're not a slave,
Right.
but we're slave to items. We're slaved by a car payment. Maybe you want to have a better car. You're slave to a car payment. You want to have a better house. You're slave for that payment. Even rich people, they're struggling because they're 2 payments away from bankruptcy. And if they don't make enough, they will lose their house. So just because they look rich and smell like the rich, they're not.
Yeah.
You know, usually people that dress the nicest are like the poorest people.
Oh yeah.
Real rich people, they look like just like you and me.
The whole outfit costs about $60.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, like I shop at Goodwill. I don't care about paying very expensive prices.
Right.
But I'll go there. I'll find me brand name stuff.
Oh.
I'll pay like $5 for a blazer, $5 for pants, whatever. That same suit will probably cost $500.
You know, that's a good mentality to
Yeah.
have. You know, I learned a lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm gonna explain this.
Sure.
to you.
Of course.
You know, I've been here since '96 too. I'm from.
Oh, 96?
Yeah.
I'm from 93, so I've been in Charlotte since 96.
Yeah. So I came in when I was young too. You know, I'm from
nice.
Bahrain.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you know, coming here as a kid. Then,
So you're living a better life, maybe, hopefully, as a result. Maybe.
Well, better life was there.
Oh, okay.
You know, but like my father worked for the American Embassy back home.
Uh-huh.
So he had a good job. You know, we was in good schools, private schools,
Oh, nice.
stuff like that. So you know, it wasn't bad.
Right.
Like you didn't have to work that hard for you to live to be comfortable.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Because you know the cost over there is not really much. The food and everything. You know, you could actually support your family and stuff like that off very little.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, coming here, I grew up out here. I'm from Washington D.C., Maryland. That's where I'm originally
Nice.
from. So you know, growing up there, I lived in Portland and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, long story short, you know, I went to prison about 2016, or I got a case back in 2013.
2016. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm just coming home. You know what I mean? I did
Yeah.
6 years in prison, in federal prison. So when I came home, when I was in there, you see how the mentality that you have right now. That's the type of mentality that I have, and the way of thinking now is for me is like that. Because when I was out there and I was making all this money, the expensive clothes, the expensive shoes, I didn't own cars. I rented cars every day.
Okay.
And I did stuff like that. I didn't really stay in apartments or nothing. I was in 5-star hotels every day, sleeping.
You had a nice lifestyle.
Right, just that's what I was into. My family, everybody good. I take care of everybody, pay their bills and stuff like that. So
basically, you were a businessman.
Yeah, but I started with nothing.
Right,
I
of
worked
course.
really, really hard. When I say I worked really, really hard, like I was in the streets.
Right.
And for 2-3 months, I would just go crazy just from sun up, sun down, making money all day, every day. So, got to establish to a point where now I'm comfortable,
Right.
From a little bit of hand to hand, to, wholesales and stuff like that. But,
But you know what? I'm like really proud of you. I'm genuinely proud, because what you learned on the streets is like something like you cannot even really learn in regular school. Maybe in college they try to teach you something. But nobody teaches you how to be a businessman. Everybody teaches you how to have a slave mentality, how to get a job. You could take that same knowledge you got right now, apply it across the board. You could sell cars, you could sell parts, you could sell whatever the heck you want. I'm just naming like a couple things. And you have the skill set that I'm probably even lacking. Like, you know how to build customers, you know how to establish yourself, and you're not afraid to do it,
Right.
Unfortunately, and I know kind of like what you're talking about, that's just, government just wants their hand in everything, and they want to be making that money, and they're just telling you can't,
Yeah, well, my situation was different. It was like more of, I didn't talk.
Right.
So it was a conspiracy. So my whole case was based off cell phones.
Okay.
Of just conversations on the phone.
Okay.
That's what I got indicted on.
But
no physical.
They didn't prove anything.
Yeah, no physical drugs or nothing. So they offered me a deal of 20 years.
What? That's not a deal.
Right. I turned it down.
My gosh.
So when I turned that 20 years down, I said we're going to trial, because I don't think whatever I did deserves 20 years.
No, of course it doesn't.
So
I didn't know that was like, oh my gosh,
so
that's
the
huge.
The next one they came at me with was 17 years. I said, no, that's nothing. We still going to trial. So I was 2 weeks away from trial, and I offered them a deal. And I said, I accept responsibilities for my action and leave the rest of it up to the judge to decide on it. So they gave me a deal 5 to 10 years. So, this is my first charge. I don't really have no criminal history that, nothing. So I'm thinking the judge is not going to give me 10 years. So
you thought maybe it's going to be like 5, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I was.
But he gave you 10?
Thinking. Yeah, he gave me the whole 10.
Dang, like that. Man, I'm really sorry to hear that.
So now, 6, almost like 5.5 years down the line, we hit the pandemic. So now the pandemic came out with the COVID-19 and stuff like that. I ended up, there's a case came out that, due to medical condition and stuff like that, I could get compassionate release.
Oh, okay.
So I did about over a year in solitary confinement. So,
whoa, what the heck? Why?
Man, another story.
What the heck?
Prison stuff.
Oh my gosh! Like, I don't even imagine what that would be like. That's horrible.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. You gotta have a real strong mind.
Dude, seriously, like, oh my gosh, you could go crazy.
Yeah, I seen a lot of people snapping.
Oh my gosh.
So, I kept myself busy, work out, read a lot of books in there. I read a lot. Just keep ordering books.
You sound very intelligent.
I you know, I try to, you know, kind of educate my own self.
Yeah.
In a way, you know, because all we have is I had time and I have things to come up with.
Right.
You know, plans, education, you know, stuff like that.
Did you try to get any kind of degree? Can you get a degree in prison?
Well, I could have, but you know, I was in the process of trying to finish my school,
Uh-huh.
GED and everything. But when the pandemic came, it was over. Like we couldn't leave the prison cells and stuff like that. We was all kind of quarantined, you know. So now, after I put this motion in while I was in solitary confinement, there was a guy that they put in the cell with me after like 7-8 months. They put a guy in there. I really didn't want anybody in there with me. So that's why they didn't put nobody. So then the guy saw me like taking a blood pressure medicine in the morning. And he asked me, hey, did you ever, you know, try to... I said, man, they're not going to try to let me go home, man. Mind you, I'm not a U.S. citizen neither. So I was like, it's going to play a role with it.
So you were not a U.S. citizen yet they put you in prison?
Right.
Is that even right?
Yeah, I never been a U.S. citizen.
So could you maybe opt it out to be deported instead?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I got you.
Okay.
So now, you know, the guy said, I said, no, they're not. So, you know, I went to sleep and I was thinking about it at night. We were sleeping, so I woke up in the morning, we got our breakfast, we sat down, and I said, hey, remember what you was talking about last night? He said, yeah. So he said, explain it to me, man. Let's talk, you know? So he talking about it, and, you know, I'm putting everything together. I said, you know what? Let's try it. You know, I ain't got nothing to lose, you know what I mean? I win, I lose, I lose. I got 3 years left. You know, so he started doing all the homework for me, everything. We got big stack of papers, everything, all the cases, everything together. And we sent it out. I sent it to my wife. My wife said, that's a lot of work. I said, all right, let's hire a lawyer. So I called my old lawyer, the one I've been dealing with for years. And he tried to charge me $10,000 just
that's a lot.
Motion.
Oh my God.
So then I said, man, come on, man. He said, yeah, if you want a good one, you know, I said, so Sam told me to call another guy that I know. I called another guy. He said, oh yeah, I remember your case back in 2013. I remember it. So he ended up basically putting a motion and take over my case. He took over my case and he charged me $2,000. And he put my motion in 5 months later. Man, I got a phone call that said my motion went through. The judge granted my motion.
Wow. Awesome.
So, you know, I go to quarantine now when they came and picked me up, and they said after quarantine you're free to go.
Wow.
So my last quarantine day of 2 weeks, immigration ICE come pick me up. So now they shipped me down to immigration. So I did about 3 months in immigration, and then I went to court and everything. The judge signed me off on deportation. So they tried to send me to my country. My country said we're not taking him back.
Really?
Right. So now they try to send me to another country. They said we're not taking him. He's not our citizen. You know, and then 3 months later they released me here.
Good.
So now I'm here, and that goes back to why I don't have a license.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a, you know, ID or anything right now.
Because now you could get, I mean, could you get naturalized?
No, they took my green card and everything. So what I did was I applied for temporary work permit so I could go to the MVA and try to get my license with that. You know, it's just crazy.
Man, you know what you had to deal with? I had to deal with something similar. I'm a U.S. citizen, of course, but I had to get my wife here on a fiancé visa. And long story short, lots of money, lawyers.
Yeah.
And it was very expensive. Of course, it cost me more than $2,000. Like it cost me like, I don't know, north of 30 grand.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I didn't even like calculate everything because it was just too much.
Yeah, I know. But you know, man, I spent a lot of money. I've been in prison all these years.
I had to go so many times to courts.
Right.
Like my wife came here legally with the paperwork, and they still did not want to naturalize her.
Citizen, though.
Yeah, I'm a U.S. citizen, so she came here legally, and they still wanted to give me trouble. I had to file other paperwork. I had to hire a lawyer. Like, it was so expensive.
Yeah.
And that was not the only lawyer that I hired
See,
either.
I had
I ran
a
into
green
courts
card.
all the time. Always courts.
Yeah, I had a green card though.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
I
of
had
course.
a green card since '96.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see if I could apply for my green card again, or something, because
Yeah.
they can't deport me anymore.
So let me ask you, and this to ask you, like, like, it's to also try to give you some kind of advice, that way you could move forward, because maybe getting out of prison, you have some ideas, but maybe it helps to get a second opinion on something, right?
Yeah.
So they let you out. So what do they expect you do right now? Like, you're out, right?
Right.
How do you even get a job? Like, you don't have anything. Like, how did you get a job there at the hospital?
I mean, before I got locked up, I had an ID from Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't expire until 2024.
Okay.
So that's how I used it. I got Social Security.
So they basically hired you because you do have an ID. You
Right.
have Social Security.
Yeah.
So that's all good, right?
Right. That's
But
good.
they took your green card away.
Right.
So what that means is, if you travel to Texas, they'll not even let you back in. Like, I'm talking about Laredo, they're not gonna let you in.
Oh, no.
There's
I
Border
can't-
Patrol
I
there.
can't-
You
yeah,
cannot
I
even
can't
go there.
leave. I can't leave United States.
Yeah, but Texas is United States. But there's
But it's still
there's
like
a border
yeah.
border behind the border, sort of,
Right.
and they
I
always
can't
check.
go to Mexico.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So it means you get stuck there.
Yeah, I'm stuck in the U.S. for
Yeah, which is fine. But you do have an ID.
But I have family back home and stuff too that I wanted to go.
So you want to be able to get your naturalization, that way you could go ahead and travel, right? That's what you want.
Yeah, because I got a lot of people in different countries that I want to go see.
I mean, obviously you have a lot of stuff that you got to get done. Have you
Right.
tried maybe to see, I don't know, maybe get a Canadian citizenship or something? Could you do that?
I don't know. I'm gonna try whatever.
I don't know.
can.
Look into that. But ultimately, you're obviously a businessman. Start your own business right now. I mean, I don't know what you're good at, like, but sales is always good. You could always do sales.
Yeah, I mean, I got a little idea that I'm trying to do. Right here.
Because I'm good with a lot of different stuff, and I'm self-made. I was completely broke in 2012.
Right.
So I went from being broke. I'm just gonna tell you this in like 30 seconds. I went from being broke completely, didn't have nothing in 2012,
Right.
to basically owning my own house for cash, owning a commercial zone property for cash. I have 33 cars right now, and I have a wife and 3 kids. I'm still hustling, but the thing is, I only work for myself. I've been working for myself since 2007. I'm also a YouTuber. I make YouTube videos. I give lots of ideas, repair tips, advice, that kind of stuff. That's kind of like what I do. And I also created income sources from YouTube channels that actually pay me enough money to live off if I don't have to technical work. I'm just always hustling. I never stop the hustle.
Exactly.
And I'm doing like 12 hours a day. So, and I'm going to grow a multi-million-dollar business when it comes to car parts. But anyways, you're a really cool guy. If you need any kind of help or advice, grab like my business card. This is, I give out to people that, it's inside of my door. It's inside of my door. So just look in there like that. If something, let's say maybe you will need like a second opinion or something, but text me first, because I never answer my phone.
Okay.
Because I have millions of views now across all channels, and people actually recognize me sometimes when I go to some places. But I do still enjoy helping people. So maybe there's something, like if you brainstorm, you can figure something out. Who knows? Maybe there's something I could help you. If I can, I'll tell you I can't,
Yeah.
But sometimes you need a second brain, sort of like to help you think, because you've been away for a while. Things have changed since then, and maybe I could point you in the right direction.
I haven't even been nowhere besides
Exactly.
here and work.
And you're living in a much nicer place than even I do. I live way below my means, because I don't care about flashy things. Like this BMW cost me $2,500, and I fixed it. It was a mechanical issue. So I only buy other people's troubles. I fix it, then I record videos, stick them to YouTube. So ultimately, I help people. I help myself, because I have a car that's less, and I just do everything myself. So if you've been a mechanic before, that is
little cars,
that is going to be paying you probably a lot more money than you being a chef at that place.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I got a lot of ideas. Like,
But Saeed, let me shake your hand.
Thank you.
Welcome
sir.
back to this world, man. America's still a great place to live.
Yeah.
Cool thing is, you can start your business,
New
dude,
message
and nobody's
from
going to care about where
Catherine.
you came from.
Number
You can start your business.
6023
You
is
could
the
start
code.
your even like your trucking company if you wanted to.
Yeah,
And people work for you.
that's exactly what
New
I'm trying
message
to do. I'm
from
trying to do,
Catherine.
no transport
Don't
business.
forget
Exactly.
the-
I used to be in transport for 14 years, so I know I had my own fleet. I own 10 Mercedes
Yeah.
Sprinter vans.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm trying to invest.
So you
in
could
those.
do that, have people drive for you, you sit home, bid loads.
Oh yeah, I got about 5 more months.
So if you need any advice on that, whatever, like, let me know.
I will.
If something, I'll point you in the right direction.
All right.
Take
Thank
care of
you,
yourself.
sir.
Do you want my YouTube channel? If something,
Yeah,
you could look me up.
Write it back.
So
right in back of this.
I
pen.
don't know if I have a pen. I do not have one, but it's okay. So do you have a iPhone?
Yeah.
So let me do this. So here's what we're gonna do. Here, grab this. So I'm gonna turn on your AirDrop. Do you know how to turn on AirDrop?
Yeah. The Bluetooth, right?
No, AirDrop.
AirDrop.
Let me have your phone. I'll turn it on. This is the quickest way to send stuff without really sharing your phone number. So you go to General, AirDrop. So contacts only. Just do everyone. It's safe. This is no big deal. So what I do is I screenshot this, right, and then just simply go to images, and then I just AirDrop this to you.
So
And this is
good with
this is you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with technology.
I see.
Have a good one, man. Take care of yourself, man.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I got a friend. A friend of mine is from Russia too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Russians are like Mexicans, man. What hustle?
Yeah, she's good, man. That's a good.
Take care of yourself, Saeed.
You too.
Good luck to you, man. Stay safe. And there you go, guys. A conversation with a prisoner that's trying to rebuild their life. I'll tell you this, guys. I respect everybody I come across. I trying to find middle ground, I guess, conversation. I don't know if it's the right way of putting it, but I try to mirror the situation, because immediately I felt as if this person is dealing with some kind of stuff with the government. That's why I brought some government stuff, in the beginning, just to see where they're at, and then basically build a conversation from there. Because ultimately everybody has a nice story to tell, and I wanted to see what his story is, and he was willing enough to share. But this person was obviously closed off, not for this conversation, but in his life, because of what he was doing. So the fact that he opened up and told me his story and stuff like that, it was kind of interesting. So I've picked up all kinds of people, man. I had gangsters in here before that actually respected me, like, because I understand where they're coming from. Like, I'm not like telling them stuff that I actually don't believe. I mean, I believe in, like, creating business, and just because you're doing it the wrong way doesn't mean that you don't know your stuff. You just really need to get on the right path and do it correctly. Ultimately, it doesn't matter what you sell, as long as you know how to sell. Selling is the best job in the world. You don't have to sell illegal stuff. You have to sell something legal. And fortunately these days it's very easy to do, because everybody's connected. You could do sales easily. But anyways, I'm on the way to pick up Catherine, and I'll record wherever that goes. I don't know, but anyways, we'll see. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.